All right, everybody. We're live. Happy Thursday. And welcome to the MSK show. And we'll get started here.
Fuck no. We await with anticipation.
Fuck.
What are we doing? I'm nervous.
3, 2, 1.
Action. There you go, Morgan. That's what we're gonna have to like film that. You have to be like 3, 2, action.
You can still hear me okay, right?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. Waiting for the
Great.
intro. I think the intro was lost somewhere. Scratch Lippy's beard real quick.
Is it playing? Because I can't hear shit.
No, right now we're just kind of in a holding pattern.
Stand by.
We need one of those tone in bars.
Brian's so serious over there. He needs to relax a little bit.
Oh, there we go. We'll
I feel the
we'll get
stress.
started. Here you go.
Calm the fuck down.
That'll calm down and be all right then. I was joking. Well, welcome everybody. And we have our guest, Beater Bomb. I don't think he needs an introduction. We all know
Who's
him
that
very
guy?
well. And
Never heard of him.
Never heard of the guy?
Got
Joey,
it
that's
now.
his name. Joey, that's it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
As long as they spell it right on the check, that's all that matters.
Oh, there we go.
Every check
He's
nowadays?
familiar with that.
Sometimes.
Captain King.
Jeff, I'm going to hand this over for Limpy and Trent to have a little fun here. And we look forward to talking with Beater Bomb and as everybody's getting on here now. And if you... What's going on, Jacob? How you doing?
So, Joey,
Chris?
Yeah.
out of all your years of racing, who has bested you the most?
You're saying you act like I've been racing that long. Like,
I mean,
look at your beard. Look at how gray mine is compared to yours.
Wow.
Oh.
Chrome. Get it right.
Who has
I'm learning
bested
people
me?
every day. It's Chrome.
What do you mean? Who's bested me? What does that mean?
I mean, who? I know you got a pretty good winning percentage, but who's pretty close to your winning percentage?
Anybody that goes out there and races every weekend probably has a good winning percentage, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, but who do you have? Who do you think that's to your caliper?
Well, obviously Ryan Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, other
you
than
guys
Ryan,
are good friends.
You know, other than Ryan, I feel like Ryan and I are the most well-rounded cars. We're fast at all surfaces, all different types of racing, such as arm drop, obviously I'm talking about 8th mile drag racing, but all types of different starting, different surfaces. Sure, there's a few cars out there that are really good at one type of racing, be it one surface, whatever, one tire. I feel like Ryan and I are pretty level. I do think, in 2021, I had a better year for sure, but shoot, I mean, good years come and go. I'm sure Ryan will do great this year, and I might suck. You never know.
Yeah. I see.
Who do you think? Who do you think is close?
Oh boy.
Oh, now he turns his head. There we go. So I saw you're on Team Misfits. I saw you guys on working together now.
So I had some time off work because I had carpal tunnel surgery, and Justin Heckman, our good buddy J&N Granite, he was helping Ryan get to that Las Vegas race, and he was like, "Hey, what if you go down there and help them out?" They were struggling a little bit with testing prior to the event, and I was like, "Yeah, I got some time off work. I can fly out there and help them out with power management and stuff." I wasn't invited on the team to race, and I don't think, even if I was, I probably wouldn't there at that certain time. I probably wouldn't have gone, because I feel like I'm a money chaser. I mean, it's flat out. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I chase the money, and the 24-hour drive to Vegas was just not worth how much money we could win, as a team. There's a lot of guys to a team, and the payout was 20 grand per round split between 10 guys. That's only 2 grand. I mean, that's not enough to cover my fuel expense there and back, let alone 2 or 3 weeks off work if I was working at that time. Luckily I wasn't, but so I just decided to fly out there for a few days and help Ryan. Ryan was pretty much wrangling the team with power management and chassis setup, and so a lot of those cars came from the track, and didn't really have much experience with asphalt racing, let alone, just street racing. But I feel like we turned a pretty slow group of cars around to a really fast group of cars. Just unfortunately, for some reason, the day that we raced, the lanes were very, very different. I mean, sure, you go to some races and the lanes might be a little different here and there, a tenth or two, but I mean, these ones were significantly different. And I'm not very good at coin tosses, but that day when we were racing, neither were the Misfit racers, and we unfortunately got a few bad coin tosses and we're stuck in the bad lane, and it showed. But it also showed a lot of potential from a team that not everybody knew. We're not seasoned or anything like that, and so I feel like they did pretty good winning 3 races out of the 11. Nola had to win 8 to win. So other than that, yeah, Vegas was pretty fun. And I after having such a successful season, I look into other opportunities such as that. I'm looking into not so chasing the money anymore. I want to start doing some different things, different races maybe, and I feel like the being on TV racing might be one of those. So maybe we'll see in the future what it brings.
Okay. Very interesting. Some new things happening, so that'll be exciting to see when that comes out. So
Yeah.
but definitely can talk about that. Jasper had a question for you earlier. Let me find it again.
Jasper's a character.
Yeah, you can be a little bit
Jasper's definitely a
Fast
character.
enough, I guess. Didn't I win?
Oh.
Yeah. Had to beat out Bill Lutz, and he's gone 6-0s in the quarter mile.
Well, that speaks something right there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
also
I
asked
went
about
to
the
Fuel Tech last week. I did go there. Justin Heckman, as I was talking about earlier, one of our good buddies who also sponsors a few of the cars around the Midwest. He radial races, and his radial car is something very serious. And we decided, it'd be best to take it to Fuel Tech and have them tune it, and we would power manage from there on out. And everything went really good, and he made 2,900 horsepower, so it was
Holy
pretty cool.
That's a good start.
However, I am a Holly fan number one.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. My next question.
The Fuel Tech software I feel like is number 2 on my list, but their the Fuel Tech just can't do what I'm doing with the Holly. Sure, it can make 2,900 horsepower, but I don't feel like it's the ECU that does that. Yeah, it manages the 2,900 horsepower, good RPM signal and stuff like that, but I firmly believe Holly could too. So
It's a lot of
I'm
Maxwell
definitely a
things you can do
Holly
with the Holly, so
fanboy.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's good. I got
The
it.
Holly is just a lot more customizable, I guess. Like I
Detailed.
can, as long as you're smart enough to tell it what to do, it
There
can
it
do
is.
it.
Yep.
But Fuel Tech is a little more. If it has the option to do it, it can do it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just not smart enough with Fuel Tech, but I just don't feel like I could tell it to do one thing with an output versus a couple inputs like I could Holly.
I got you. I guess like the Fuel Tech, I feel is like more simpler or more easier to use, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Well, it
like I
depends, it
said,
depends on the user, you know.
yeah, if you're smart enough to tell Holly what to do, it'll do it. Whereas Fuel Tech already has the options loaded in. You just have to turn it on, I
Yeah, just
guess.
hitting buttons and
Yeah.
it's two different types of users, you know, and I think that they both
Mhm.
fit for those categories. I know the detail in what you can do with the Holly is mind blowing if you're, like I said, you got the brain for it, you know, and
Yep.
you know how to do it. It's amazing what you can do, just saying, but for sure. Well, we actually have Garrett from Fuel Tech's going to be on this Sunday in our tech show. He's going to be on, so
Oh,
it'll be an interesting conversation we're going to have. So we do kind of like a tech Sundays. We learn different aspects from everything from racing, from suspension to tuning to everything. So they were going to kind of join us, but I don't
yeah,
know how
I
late.
actually met Garrett in Detroit when I went there and raced a few years ago, and so it was pretty cool hanging out with him again down at Fuel Tech. He moved down there, so and seems like they're doing pretty good. So pretty happy for him.
That's good. Yeah, so looking forward to it. I guess it could be a long discussion between the two of them. Everybody has their choices, you know. I don't know if price point is a difference much between the Holly and the Fuel Tech at all.
I mean, they always joke that the Fuel Tech, you need a box for this, box for that, box for this. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
At that point in time, when you have $100,000 race car, what's $5,000 in ECU?
yeah,
It's kind of the people that complain about the cost probably shouldn't be doing this sort of thing.
I
It'll
get
just come to bite you in the ass later on.
for sure. Definitely, I got you on that. I have so also you have an event coming up too. I saw
Yeah.
in Iowa, and I saw. Let me put this up on the screen here. Give me a second. I saw there's a grudge race coming up as well at this event.
Yeah. Yeah. May 28th, obviously, as you see on the flyer, at my local drag strip, I-29 Dragway. It's pretty much 45 minutes from my house in Omaha, Nebraska. But, it's kind of hard to say this, but in the previous years, especially last year, you sort of notice some racers, not all racers, start to migrate away from classes they should race in because I was there or I am known to race in it, whatever. And I just want to see the event do well. So I decided coming into this year that I just wasn't gonna race in that event because of the performance I put on in
Mhm.
the previous year. I mean, as you can see in the 1320 video that came out, I mean, it was pretty much an off the trailer tune that it just kept the whole night or the whole day and put several cars on everybody. And so I decided to call up my buddy Booster and well, Boosted GT, but I call him Booster, just kind of an inside joke thing in one of our group chats. But yeah, so I called up Boosted and said, hey, you want to come grudge race me and do something for the event and kick you a little bit of gas money here and there. And he said, yeah, sure. Just playing around the No Prep Kings. I said, okay. So push come to shove, waited for the No Prep Kings schedule to come out and decided, Boosted's the one of the well-known small tire racers, and obviously I don't want to race a big tire car. You know, they'd smoke me. Obviously, I mean they're on a different level, as they should be. But you know, another really cool small tire car that everybody would know or like to see would be Boosted, and so I felt like it'd be a good grudge match, and we can race on the side and not race in the event, and just do something for the fans, and hopefully put some more people in the seats, because it's been a quite a bit of a downhill percentage over the last few years. We counted it towards COVID and this and that, and then last year, I mean, we felt like, you know, the stands should have been packed again, and they really weren't. And so I made a post at the end of the year and said, hey, you know, I'm a racer, so I see what a racer wants. Well, I never get to see what a spectator wants, so it's kind of hard for a racer to realize that. And I asked them, you know, what they wanted to see, and as Jasper says, we decided to do clocks on, and along with these exhibition races with me and Boosted, you know, hopefully it'll draw some more fans in the stands. And along with Jasper's question, no, I, for one, I feel like is one of the more serious no time racers around our area. I will not willingly turn the clocks on ever. If you were lucky enough to be at I-29 when the clocks came on last year, or at Ozark when the clocks came on, well, good for you. But otherwise, I do not willingly turn on the clocks, or ever will. You know, it's just one person's opinion versus the next, and that is what it is. So no, me and Boosted aren't going to race in the event, just going to grudge race on the side and have the clocks off for that, unfortunately, for all the fans. But I feel like they'll still want to see us race. You know, it's always a well-known race when we line up and stuff like that. Boosted and I are pretty even, actually, for winner-loss ratio. The last time we raced in Texas was on the street. He had just got his yellow car done, and I
think we
had
have
some passes on mine, and I
have a
ended
video of
up
that, if you
beating
don't mind.
him.
I can
What's
play a
that?
video if you're. I can play a video if you're okay with that.
Yeah. There you have it.
Backdoored him. You
It's like
backdoored him.
a tap of the button at the end and let off.
You backdoored him. You big blocked him.
Obviously, one thing you don't know that nobody really says is that Boosted already had a hit on that road, because he raced round one there, and I had raced round one at a different road. But that's okay, you know.
Okay.
It seemed
made
like
it more
both of you guys were
interesting.
driving it.
Yeah.
So obviously I had to keep the tune up a little light down low, and just add it on out the back, you know. So
Y'all both looked like y'all were both pedaling.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the
It-
road was mediocre. I mean, it wasn't as slow as an asphalt road, but you know, it's still pretty fun. And luckily I went on to win that event, and paid off pretty well, even though the struggles along the way. But that's street racing for you.
It might have been the camera angle, but it looked like there was a hell of a dip in the end of that road.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
the shoots came out, and I was waiting for you to just fucking fly right away. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yep. It was sporty. It's
Sporty. I like
it's
it.
you know, it's just got a few
Spicy.
bumps is all.
Okay. I saw a video saying how you're running a Ford JZ in your car. I think that was kind of funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
Experimental.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think, Hemi heads on an LS, that's not a bad idea, right?
Right. Right. It's obviously been done before.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, they sell welders every day. You could weld some stuff together.
Hey, there you go.
Limpy, what is it
Uh,
you had said for a while? Everybody, you can buy the same parts as everybody else,
Yep.
sort of thing. Everybody sells the same parts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
It's a good
As
Ellis
long
block
as you
with
can
some,
get
with some
your
dart and
hands on
sleeves,
them, I
and we're good.
guess.
Yeah, that's a challenge right now.
Yeah.
So many people waiting on parts, and I've heard tires have been a mess. And actually,
That's fine.
Kara, I see you poking around down there. She's on now. Hi, Kara.
She's probably selling some tires right now.
Oh, that's gotta work that side hustle, guys. Never ends.
Yep.
Black pants
Right
matter.
now, I think right now she could auction off tires.
Yeah, no
And,
kidding.
Yeah.
It's not a
probably
lot.
like 2810.5's opening bid $995. Like
No
Right.
shit.
it's
For real.
crazy.
Right. Luckily, Justin Heckman, like I've talked about several times on here, he kind of has a tire warehouse at his house, and he's
Mhm.
been nabbing them tires up from Baron Racing pretty often. So
He's a
we've got a
hoarder.
good supply, I feel like, going into the season.
Joey, I got a real question right here.
Uh-oh.
Real question.
All
Uh-oh.
right, what?
Not a real question.
What's your definition? What's your tire size of a small tire?
Ooh, that is a real
Ooh, this is a good
29
conversation.
fives.
Thank you, people. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
some Detroit shit. right
29s
there.
are life. I don't care what you say.
Good on the street, hey. So what what states actually just use 29.5? This is an interesting discussion we've had before. Where have you been able to run those?
Minnesota,
Mhm.
Iowa, Nebraska, Texas, Kansas, anywhere up and down in the Midwest.
Except
Okay.
Chicago.
So everybody else hears that,
Missouri, well,
be open-minded.
St. Louis is 28s. That's once you get past St. Louis, then it's
Fucking darn.
28s.
Oh, boy.
But Joplin is 29s, Texas, Oklahoma.
Kansas.
I even think Tennessee is 29s actually.
Okay.
So
Well, I think it's going to hopefully it'll spread a little more, and since tires are more available.
I hope so. I love 29s. If you beat me on 29s, you're doing something. You're doing something right. That's for sure. Because 28s I suck on, so it is what it is.
It makes a big difference on the streets with the 29s.
Oh
People
yeah.
don't even-
Oh yeah. And you can't even say I run those cheater 29s because I don't even run those ones. The 29s I run are a normal 29.5-inch tire, not the 30.6 cheater Hoosier. But I still won't care if you run on those. I just don't run those anymore. So it's
Maybe
okay.
I must have missed out on this controversy. So what is Hoosier got an oversized 29 or what's that all about?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Indiana.
It says 29.5 on the side, 10.5 non-W, but it's literally 30.5 inches tall and 13.1 wide.
See, all these
So-
people are hating. They say they need to wake up and accept that 29s are the way to go for the street.
No
You know,
way.
Hey, they're maxing out 28s. It's time to go get the 29s coming out. Okay, cars are getting
Yeah.
faster. Just saying.
29s are the best, that's for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. Well,
Yeah.
friend, do you have any questions for him at all?
I'm doing a little while you guys are talking. I want to see if they actually own up to this. Give me a moment. Poking around a little bit on Hoosier's website while we're talking.
Well, let us, if you want to do a little promo about your t-shirts you have out.
Oh yeah, that shirt has been selling really well. I've had to reorder probably I think 4 or 5 times now. But yeah, if anybody wants to help support me, gas is not cheap, especially this year. But
Yep.
you go to headsupnoprep.com and find the swag, and there's 3 or 4 sizes that are out of stock right now, but check to see if your size is in stock and order some up, and it helps me go to these races, and obviously a lot of sponsor help also, but t-shirts are awesome. I'm even wearing, oh boy, dropped you guys. I'm even wearing mine.
Nice.
So
Dylan wants to know if he has any 3Xs available.
Go on the website. I'm telling you, websites are the
Right?
best because they keep track of inventory. You can pay with a credit card if you want. You can pay with PayPal. I don't have to even keep track of any of it.
Mhm.
And so it's very well organized, but I think I have maybe 2 or 3 3Xs left. So probably have one on there, I hope.
I hear you. I know we're doing ours too, and 4Xs are hard to come by right now.
Really?
That's-
Yeah, I'm out of
yeah.
4X,
Really?
that's for sure. I know
Yeah,
that.
see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's hard
I
to
think
come
I
by.
used to order like 3 of them. You know,
Yeah.
I did an entire merch where I order 100 XLs or whatever, and like 2 or 3 4Xs, and not because you don't want to order them, but they don't sell very often. You
No.
gotta order smart, not sit on 'em.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So this mythical tall 29, is this thing by any chance a stiff?
Nope.
Do you know?
No, it's
Really?
not. It's a DO6 compound.
All right.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
looking at a couple of the new releases because they got a 29.5 out with an advertised circumference of 94. That's a little big.
Like an
for
06 wall.
29.5.
That's much better
Yeah.
for sure.
I think it's like a 18195 or 96.
Okay.
I think the one I run is a 18192, maybe.
Yeah. I'm
Do you
partner
get
with
custom ones
Vision,
made? Do you
they're
get
looking along.
custom ones made for you from the manufacturers? So they go out of the way and do that for you. I mean, just
Yeah,
saying,
they do actually. That's how I even come close to winning races. Is it's actually a 33 tall tire, 10.5, but they stamp 29.5 on the side for me.
Oh
There you
yeah.
go.
That's
They
pretty
cost
solid.
double, but when you win $5,000 off a $1,000 set of tires, you still make money.
That's like that. What was it that happened down in Texas a while back with the Texas spec 10.5 non-W that measured out at like 12.5 inches on
We'll
the
drive
corners.
Trent nuts all day today. Keep looking. Oh,
I'm a math guy. I like to see numbers. It makes me understand.
there
Yeah.
you go. There you go, Limpy.
Yeah, math was my best subject. You have to be pretty good at math to count money.
Holy shit!
You got a money
Yeah,
counter.
yeah, I
What are you
think
talking
if
about?
you're pretty used to it, I'd say he's got to have a counter for all that.
He's
So
got
hey,
a money counter. Don't let him lie to you.
Oh, me?
I do actually.
Oh,
Used
Dude,
it
if
before
there
too.
you got to.
if you deal with any kind of cash, you have to have a bill counter. What was that part number again? 18192. Is that right?
1-8.
I think that's the one
18192.
I run, but the other one was a 18195, maybe. I don't know. Somebody
both
will
of-
comment on
that's-
here
No,
with
no, I'm
it.
looking at it
That's
right
listed
now.
as a
No, I'm
W.
looking at it, but that's the
It's
18195 shows the 29.5, 11.5, 15W.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Oh,
both of them
no, that
shows a
ain't it.
96-inch circumference. I mean, it's
Chroma
like, holy
tire.
fuck,
Okay.
it's a fucking big ass tire.
I'm glad Darcy's in here. She's the only girl to ever beat her.
Oh
I've been
boy.
geeking out on math for a while.
Yeah, Ryan has a money counter too.
Didn't you use his at War in the Woods, or did you?
Yeah.
Was it him using yours?
Yeah,
No, it was
I
him.
had to use his.
Yeah.
18192, Sean says, is the tire.
Okay.
There you go.
It's 30.6 by 13.2.
Yeah, that's the
But
one.
that's not the tire that I run anymore. I used to for sure, but I don't run that one anymore.
Yeah, back in the day, we used to use tape measure. It was 30 inches tall and 11.5 inches of tread wear. I mean,
Yeah,
tape measure doesn't lie.
it's way larger than normal,
Yeah.
for sure.
I got to ask you, with the bar in the back right there, because you mentioned you're a math and very smart with that. Have you got that figured out? And is that how do you like it using the butthurt bars? Everybody puts it.
Loves it.
Yes,
smile.
I as Trent was saying, he loves math. I love math, so math was it was a well thought out deal with that. And it's, if anybody had a tape measure out, theirs might read a little longer than normal, but it's a few feet behind the car. And
Yeah. 6 inches.
at first, obviously, the shot heard around the world, that video of racing Ryan, where it just wheelies pretty uncontrollably. I did not have it figured out then, but I do feel like I have it figured out now, and it works really good, you know. English
Well,
was my worst subject in school, but math was my best.
you know what I
That's
like
all
about
that
math?
matters.
Math matters. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
When math
For
full
sure.
max headroom mode. What I like about math is that math will never lie.
Nope.
That's been my, and I'm not a mathematician. Like I'm a basic math guy, but numbers, that's how I understand it because numbers don't lie, you know, as long as you put the right fucking
Mhm.
numbers in. And I'm glad you got me that number. I'm going to rattle you guys off these specs and it's tired. Just pulled it up, right? So Hoosier doesn't even have it on their website. That's how new it is. I had to get it off Summit. So they show it as the 29, 5, 10, 5, 15. Overall diameter 30.6. Section width 13.2, tread width 11.1. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
legit. Like who the fuck? And they're on back order until March 8th. So good luck, cheaters.
Oh, good. I don't use those anyway.
Yeah. Well, for everybody else who was thinking about getting smart. I mean, you're talking an inch oversized, and that's insane.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I
just-
think the
that's a lot.
circumference is like 98 or something.
You need to give me a circumference, but I can tell you right now.
Am I asking what kind of gears you run in the back? Are you okay with saying that?
Yeah,
have to.
Ford 9-inch.
There you go. Okay.
A
was
Marty
thinking-
Marilat rear end. I switched to that after shattering like 6 gear sets in the 8.8 2 years ago, and the 9-inch has been amazing. Lots of adjustment, and Marty powder coats them clear when he sends them out, and
Nice.
it's almost like a work of art underneath there. It's kind of sad that it has to be under the car, but yeah, it's pretty nice, and it works really good. And you know, I really am glad I switched to that because I haven't broke any gears since then. But
That's good. I saw
otherwise,
the
yeah,
one with the tire off the car laying on the side of it or something. Was it? I saw someplace.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Nice.
That was a few years ago, quite a few years ago, where I broke the axle and the tire came out, and that was back in the day when we weren't smart. Circumference is 96, Sean says.
Yeah, just seen that. They show in their little PDF of specs. They show a couple different 29.5s with a 96-inch circumference, and but the rest of them are like 93. You know, 3 inches doesn't matter, right? I don't size tires, but it's that seems a little sus to me.
Yeah,
Like you said,
I
for sure,
run
5
the
inches is
93
enough.
one for sure. But there's some differences in a few of the tires, and I've seen some gains in different specs, I guess. I didn't need that.
You don't want to get real specific on that.
That large of a tire, I guess, to go faster. You know.
That's why I put everybody on a 26 and tell them to get looked.
Yeah.
Fucking Chris Hall. Oh my god. Well, as long as she's a happy woman, that's all that matters.
Right.
Oh boy.
So how long is the
boy.
the butt hurt bar?
I'm not sure. My tape measure doesn't go that long.
Oh, when that thing first came out and it made such a stir, probably the most accurate comment I seen actually came out of, I think, Billy. He said, "I'd rather have 100 pounds where I need it than 300 pounds where I don't." Like,
Yeah. So what's
pretty
worse?
solid. What's that?
I mean, for real, they say it's unsafe, and their opinion is their opinion, and everyone's entitled to it. But I mean, in previous years, I was running in excess of 500 pounds in my car.
Right.
What's the difference if there's 100 pounds, like you say, Trent, out the back?
Let's wait there and stick it out farther back. It works
Well, and
better.
you
go
the
faster.
thing is,
Just saying.
and obviously when you first brought it out, I mean, the big wheelie was a little sketchy. Like, it just didn't seem like it was ever going to come down. You're just going to ride it off into the sunset,
Right.
And I'm sure it was a handful to drive because you don't have rear wheel brakes to steer the fucking thing. At that point, you're like, just fucking Jesus, take the wheel. But it was wild to watch.
Right.
But it's, as unconventional as it was, and as many people bitched about it, it didn't look like it would murder someone if it came off. Like some of this external weight shit got really sketchy for a while.
I see more and more
yeah.
cars doing it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
let
that's-
alone the people that just put sandbags in their trunk and just let them go, or even just
believe
lead
it.
weight, just letting them sit there, or ratchet
Well,
straps. I mean,
Here's kind of the way I put it, because there's a couple classes I've run that guys got a ballast. And I've always said this: I prefer sandbags if you have to throw some ballast in just to make weight, because in a worst case scenario, sandbags they shed their inertia almost immediately. They don't keep momentum. As soon as they hit the ground, they explode and the energy's gone. So you're not likely to see a sandbag killing someone. However, if you've got a 20-pound bar of lead in the trunk and you wipe out, that 20-pound bar of lead is going to wind up in the next county. That's the
Yeah.
shit that scares me, is putting on races. I just don't want to see anybody get hurt. But
yeah, I mean, I feel like I've proved quite a few times that it's pretty safe and it's
Mhm.
not going to fall off. I mean, if you've seen the picture from Texas, there was two grown dudes standing on the back, far back as you can get.
Wasn't
Yeah.
me.
And just think of all that leverage.
It didn't move.
challenge,
mean-
Limpy, challenge, do it. If we can get a
Yeah,
picture of
they-
Limpy
they
standing
stood
on a
on it.
butthurt bar, it's a proof.
Oh, hey, yeah, that's the test right there. We got to get Limpy to sit on there.
No,
Oh yeah, I mean,
We'll just
if you
lower
know
him down
Eric
onto it
and
to
I
the
think
side.
it was Jason Rank standing on the back, they're not small guys.
No, they're
So
pretty big guys. Yeah.
Well, I do have one question though. So there's a rumor going around that your inspiration for the butthurt bar was actually the Fast and the Furious with the Dom's wheelie charger going back in the day with the 400 pounds off the back. Can you comment on that? Is there any truth to that?
I don't really. There was nothing really that I saw that said, "Hey, I'm gonna do that." I think it was more or less. I had a struggling year for sure, and I looked over data over the winter and saw what would have helped, what I did wrong, and this was the thought that came into my mind, and drew a little picture with on your phone
Yeah.
on the back of my car and sent it to Brad and Sean and was like, "Hey, I want to do this." Okay.
They're like, what
And
the
they're
fuck?
like, I think they were like, "You're joking, right?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm dead serious." And Brad, he was like, "Yeah, I'll do anything you want." Brad is Brad Vasco from Vasco Speed and Performance. Him and I spent all winter in 2020, I think it was, cutting out my old cage, putting in new cage. So he's my go-to fabricator for pretty much anything on the car. And so I sent it obviously to him because he was going to be the welder and stuff like that. And he was for it. Sean, on the other hand, he was like, absolutely not. I said, Sean, I have to do this. Like, I need to figure out a way to do
The
better,
internet?
do better in certain aspects. And I explained the calculations to them and showed them and wrote it down on paper and showed them the math. And they're like, well, it's going to look stupid. I said, I know it'll probably look stupid, but we got to make it look the best we can. And I told him, I said, whenever I want to do something, I go to the extreme. The extreme. I mean, have you seen how much travel
Facts.
the front end has? That's what I'd
Yeah,
call
what-
extreme.
What is what
But
Limpy called
I
it?
asked you if my question was how much travel do you have?
All of
I
it.
don't know.
616 or
My tape
All of it.
measure doesn't go that long either.
Yeah,
So
more secrets. What was it, Limpy? What was it you called it a while back? A trophy truck front end they're putting on these cars now?
Yeah, the Fox Racing.
Yep. But
They
yeah,
probably got
so
both of them.
we'll
back
look
to
at
the
it one more
butt
time.
hurt.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll leave it
Back
alone.
to the butt hurt bar. So I brought my car to Brad's and we, had the bumper off and all sorts of stuff and had it all laid out. And our first rendition, what we mimicked exactly what I drew in the picture and the thought I had, and we built it, and it was not sturdy at all. Like we had to make sure that it was sturdy because we knew there was going to be a lot of backlash on it and stuff like that. And so we immediately found that it wasn't wasn't even up to our standards, you know, and let alone the world's, I'm sure. And so the one that you see now is not the first. So just know that it took some changes and different
Version.
mounting and stuff like that and
Butthurt
adjustments.
2.0.
But the one you see now is for sure extremely rigid. I mean, you can pick up the whole car from back there. I mean, with a cherry picker, you could pick up the whole car. I mean, that's how
That's
strong it
wild.
is.
It's a good
And
workout for the wintertime.
yeah.
Wait,
And
if you're tight on space, you could just hang a whole car on the wall.
right. I mean,
It
I
does have that
do.
double
The
We're
front
giving them
end,
ideas.
it's over there. But so the only thing that people complained about after they saw that it was very strong was, oh, well, your parachute doesn't come out. I said, well, it does, and I had to throw it a few times at that first race. I had it out at. Sure, there was one or two. I'm a very honest person. I don't care, but there was one or two times that it didn't. But I'll let you know it's really gonna come out now because I ended up picking up a air launcher, so it shoots like 100 feet in the air now, way over the butthurt bar. So
Now,
it,
I'm curious with the air launcher. So is that still, because some of the air launchers are an air activated spring launcher, but it's actually a pressurized air launcher or just an air release with a spring behind the back?
this particular one that I have now this year is an actual air solenoid.
Okay.
So yeah,
It's like a t-shirt cannon in the back of the car.
yep.
It's like walking in the back of a trailer hitch.
So I guess I feel like all in all, the thing is extremely safe, and I've proved that. Everyone's like, well, what if you run into that? I'm not gonna lie, if you run into any type of part of anybody's car going 100 over 100, we'll say, you're gonna have a lot of problems no matter what. I
Yeah,
mean,
somebody like rear ends you and they spear their own car.
it is what it is at that point. We're going for a tumble, and you know, that's racing. If
Yeah.
you don't feel like you're safe, you know, there's always somebody else that's way worse out there than me. So if you don't want to race me because you feel like I'm unsafe, I guess don't show up. You know, I feel like maybe you won't show up because I might be
Scared.
quicker, but
You're scared.
it is what it is.
Well, apparently Darcy's got problems running into it in the pits.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's the story there? Like a
Oh,
trailer hitch on steroids?
at I-29 where we race at, we park in the pits that are the little lane that you drive on is a little narrow, and sometimes that butthurt bar sticks out there, you know, 10, 20 feet, depending on how long your tape measure is. And, you know, a few people have ran into it when they ain't looking.
Should put a
But
flag or a cone on it, like AT&T.
yeah, we had to put a cone on it one time. That's all.
I remember that.
Well,
Is
here's
it-
what you can
is
say
it-
to everybody else who doesn't like or doesn't care, right?
Yeah, there
Nice.
you go.
Is it true? Darcy's just got the zingers today. Is it true that your tape measure only measures millimeters?
Oh, oh boy.
Hey, I'm just reading the comments.
So
Right,
Michelle
People
said.
want to know.
right. You know the
Savage.
deal.
Might be short but skinny.
Yeah. But Jasper asked if I was coming back to Milan. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to chase the money as much this year, maybe. I might more orient it to some more select races, and you know, Milan's pretty far away for me. It's 10 or 11 hour drive, I think. So I don't know if I'll be traveling that far a lot or as much as I did in the previous year. I mean, last year I went to 33 races, and that is quite a bit, you know, and
That's a hell of a
so
schedule.
we'll
for
see.
Sure.
huh?
That's a hell of a schedule. 33 races.
Yeah.
It is, 'cause
Yeah. I
expensive.
mean, there was quite a few that were one race Friday, somewhere else Saturday. And, you
Okay.
know, especially when I travel out east, such as the
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Cincy street nights that I went to, and then Onondaga the next day. there, you know, for one, it's 13 hours or so to Cincy, and then it was like
Correct.
6 or 7 north to Onondaga, I think, and I won 27 of them.
Oh my God, that's a hell of a
Bragger.
record.
Bragger.
That
So,
is
yeah.
really good, actually.
We should get him a plaque. For having that kind of record.
Yeah, we'll have to have an award for him. There we go.
And I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw right before Chris Hull came up with that. I don't know if you saw what Robert Smith was saying about going out to Mooresville or Wilkesboro and doing something with beer money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just, you know, like I said, Mooresville, I'm sure, is 18, 20 hours away. And
Damn, that's a far ride.
and it's just not worth it to me to go race one person like that. And, you know,
Well, how many people would you have to race if they just like lined them up? Just start knocking them out one at a time, you know, just round robin.
You know,
You have a good
I
film
am
list here.
I'm not really the grudge racer type, actually. You know, I look at entering a race to win 5-10 grand with only $250.
Sure.
That's where I feel like I excel. You know, for one, if I get one hit on any given surface, I feel like I pick up 5, 6, 7 numbers just moving into the next round, if I move into the next round. But
Right.
yeah, I just feel like data is king, and I don't know what Limpy's
Fucking
saying.
Limpy.
If
I won
Yeah.
27 races out of 33. If I move on to the next round.
Everything's an
Hey.
educated guess.
Hey, one of
Really
those I
educated.
red lit by 0.0002 in the first
Oof.
round. So one of those I did lose first round.
That's what you get for guessing the light.
Shoot. I didn't even guess. I don't know what
but
happened there.
I love the argument about so and so guessing the light. I'm like, come on.
It's
Everything
fucking
You know,
racing.
when you go to
racing.
places
Shit.
where,
need
you
to
know,
fucking get a chance, any chance you can get.
well, that's exactly it. And I've always had a major issue with that. Like if you leave early and it's proven you leave early, that's one thing. But you know, if you anticipate a light and you leave on the light, well, you automatically got a 3 or 4 tenths advantage over the next guy. Like that's just physiology. That's been
Right.
proven. That's why people do it. So they get all mad about it. I'm like, oh, just to go race a pro tree then and just quit your bitching.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just part of the game.
Yep. We watched the video several times on did I red light or not. And at the end of the day, I'm like, guys, we're at a racetrack using the tree. There's no way we're going to tell them the tree was wrong. I mean, that's why we use trees
Mhm.
at the track, you know, and the computer system doesn't lie, I feel like. So it
No,
was what it was.
generally,
And,
no. And
you know,
usually,
moved on.
you know, one of the advantages of using, you know, a tree is
Got to.
pretty much everyone accepts the fact that, you know, what the tree or what the system says is what happened.
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
that's you get some that'll argue, well, you know, your system's broken. Okay, let's go get an IT guy to go troubleshoot the system real quick. Everybody just wait. Like, come on. So,
Right.
not to
Yeah.
say
So
errors
it
don't
is what it
happen.
is.
Come back and race and win another day. So it'll be 28 out of 33.
So,
yeah. Hey, if you want to talk about a real good season, the season before that, I only won 3 races out of probably 33. So
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about that. I just want to talk about when you dominate, not about when you put all the time in to figure the fucking thing out, you know?
right.
And I mean, I think everybody goes to that learning curve. And
Oh,
I've seen
yeah.
the local guys up here, you know, they dominate. Well, the 2 years prior to that, they chase their tail and, you know, rebuild half the fucking car trying to figure it out.
Boosted
You know,
12,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Mork's the one that comes to mind in that because, you know, when he got his car figured out, he was very dominant up here and he's a player pretty much anywhere he goes, but he wasn't
Fucking
always. Yeah, well, there's
Yeah.
that too. But he chased his
Schoolboy
tail
figured
on
his
a
car
car
out
for a
this year,
couple
too.
years. What's that?
Yeah.
Schoolboy too. He finally got his car dealt right too. It took him a while.
Absolutely.
That's an example.
Yeah, and I'm looking again at the comments here. Unlike usually, Archie Bunker's talking about using a delay box on a light. I still have yet for anyone to prove to me how you're going to use a delay box on a light.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll
you're
wait.
either going to be way late and suck, or you're going to red light because the delay on an instant green is random.
Well,
I
and it's
mean,
and the people that usually make that argument don't fully understand how the trees work. They don't
yeah,
understand stage to start, that sort of stuff. They don't understand, what comprises the aspects of the system that make it random, and it's all programmable. So,
hmm
but
yeah,
yeah, delay
you
boxes
have,
are not going to help you on your tree.
yeah, you have way better chance of either guessing or just going off green than using a delay box, I feel like.
I agree.
Mhm.
I 100% agree. Because again, when you have the ability to vary randomly, the computer you can program. I think in a computing system that I was familiar with, I think it was like zero point 0.5 to like 1.8 or something like that. That was the range that you had. And if you
Yeah,
maxed it out at 1.8, the lights would be, I mean, at one point they would be almost instant. And the next time you'd be like, is it broken? Oh, there it is. It would be
yeah,
just wildly different. And that's the entire idea. It would discourage people from trying something stupid because we had a lot of guys red light and they get
yeah.
mad.
So let's
You're supposed
say,
to leave on green. That's how it works.
let's say you got a 1 second window. And so what do you set your delay box to? Right in the middle would be your logic decision, right? Well, so that would be at a half a second. So you half of the time you could be a half second late or a half second early or
Right. And that's
anywhere in
huge.
between,
And that's huge.
and
That's what she
so
said.
you being, if you were a half second late, shoo, you might as well just not even go at that
Well, and
point.
that goes right back into the argument people had with folks guessing the tree, because generally speaking, a good reaction time off a true instant green light is 360. Like that's a
Yep.
great reaction time. 400
Right.
is pretty close, and I mean I've seen them as high as like 1.2. Like when I look at the data after an event, I look at the
That's
reaction
Trent's
times.
reaction time.
That
I
guy
heard
had
that.
the delay box.
No, it was a motorcycle, and all the hand clutch guys. Some of used to get surprised
Oh,
by the light, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, I gotta go." But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, generally, and I know Shannon Morgan down in Texas, she had put a rule in a long time ago when she's doing instant green no prep and all that. If you had a reaction time under 350, you guessed and you were out. That's
Yeah.
just what it was.
No,
It's
I mean,
controversial, but hey, Shannon does what Shannon wants, and the racers go along with it. So,
yeah.
but
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
pretty rooted in science.
obviously, like you said, a 360 is a pretty good light
It's a
on an
real good
instant
fucking
green.
light.
So she figured out, hey, anything better than that number or whatever number it was a guess. And don't guess. That's all she's saying,
Yeah. Well, that's
And
exactly it. And take the incentive out. What I wound up doing eventually was I went to a 100 Pro tree. That's the version we were
right.
using of an instant green.
Yeah.
Simply because that version of CompuLink that they were running, it didn't have the option to run a 000 tree.
Right.
So I'm like, well, we were playing with it. But what I found out, it was the most consistent when we were testing it. And also it generally tended to discourage people from guessing because
hmm
the gain they would get from guessing it was so marginal. Instead of getting 3 or 4 tenths, they might get 1 or 2 tops.
Right.
So at that point, it wasn't worth the risk. But
Very true. So yeah, I got something funny I want to show you guys. See what you think of this. We have a new hoodie that's coming out. No prep is kind of like sex. It's better without the rubber, without the concrete. So
That's a
thought we were
pretty
gonna laugh
funny
out of that.
one.
Yeah, that's something a little entertaining this year.
Yeah.
fucking Darcy. I don't know Darcy, but I think I want to because the
Oh
zingers
yeah,
just keep on coming.
she's a really
She's
good
funny.
friend of ours.
She beat
Her
Joey.
and Sean Clark are dating, and so
Okay.
they come racing with us a lot. And Darcy actually races a blue 79 Mustang, and Sean
Okay.
is he works on it. He works on my car obviously too, and helps me out. And so he is the crew chief of Darcy's car, and she literally floors it, and that's it. And she'll tell you the exact same thing.
Hey,
And
Brian, put her comment up real quick. Highlight her comment.
Oh, where
It's
is it?
pretty
This one?
awesome. No,
No.
no, it's
Yeah,
down
they
toward
got-
the bottom.
Oh, I see it
It's
down
four
here.
from the bottom. That's the one. That's why I was laughing. That came up. I was dying. Oh, that was good shit.
that is pretty funny.
That is good shit. But it has
Yeah.
happened more than a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Has happened more than a couple of times. And
she
also, John,
she has no filter, meaning if you do something dumb, she'll let you know about it. Don't worry.
that's the kind of friends you need in your life. And because Pro
Yep.
Stock is not going to let go, John Ryan in the comments, Pro Stock is asking, are you, I think we kind of covered this a little earlier with the Milan question, but are you planning on coming up to Chicago area at all this year?
Maybe.
What would it take? Let's ask that question.
It depends. I mean, obviously, Chicago is roughly 8 or 9 hours or whatever, and I don't know. It's hard to travel that far, depending on the events. I like to when I travel that far, such as Cincy or Onondaga, I like to be able to race at multiple events in one weekend, so that
Sure.
get more bang for my buck of driving that far and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And so I
have a
guess it just
question, actually.
depends.
So are you going to do more street stuff this year, or are you going to do like track, or
Both of
might
them.
be the other option?
You know,
Yes.
I do still like street racing. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
However,
Mommy.
I do not like going slow. Sure, anybody can turn their car down and go down an asphalt road,
You've
and
been hanging out with Donald Malone,
especially with the butthurt bar, I'm pretty well versed in all surfaces, but I do like going really fast at racetracks too. And also, depending on where the racetrack is at, my family can come with, or
Yeah.
we can sit and hang out. It's not as stressful. Last year, the street racing stuff was few and far between because, just cops have really cracked down, I feel like, or there's some promoters or whatever you want to call them, street organizers that didn't do much homework. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I used to organize street racing events too, and I feel like what you put into the event, you get out, and planning and knowing what to do next, and stuff like that really plays a role into it. And we had a lot of bad luck last year with cops, and the track stuff was just a lot more fun. So you'd notice last year that it did a lot of track stuff, because first, going fast was fun, and like Sean and Darcy say, everybody feels like they need to find the worst road in the world. It could have water, gravel, and dust on it, and they think it's cool. And I don't really like that. I'm really probably going to steer away from the asphalt stuff and maybe stick towards some track stuff. Backside of the track stuff is also kind of fun. Sure, the backside's really difficult, but at least you have some time to think, go over data, and make changes to,
You're not
be
worried about running
quick,
from the law.
even though it's not as fast as the front side of the track. And so I don't know. I feel like I am more oriented towards track racing, especially the way my car sits now. And, I don't know. I still can street race and will maybe here in the near future.
Street racing's illegal.
But
Can't do that.
we'll see for sure.
I see your heart's in a different place. I can tell.
Yeah, I definitely like track stuff. If you had to ask me, yes.
Yeah.
I have a question.
How dependent are you on the butthurt bar with the track stuff? Some places
I
allow it, some
usually
places
don't
doesn't.
use it at a racetrack.
Don't need it.
So as you saw earlier in the year, I might have used it once or twice at a racetrack. But I've gotten pretty dialed in to where I don't need it. I have some other tools in the toolbox maybe that a few people have seen. However, they might have been focused in other areas and just missed stuff right in plain view. But yeah, I don't really need the butthurt bar at a racetrack, I feel like.
Because you have 72 inches of suspension travel.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sure it helps.
72 millimeters.
Oh yes, my bad. Millimeters. Shh. And actually, I have a question. Obviously, Kara's waiting patiently for her segment down there. Hi, Kara. And as I'm
We'll go
sure
back
you
and
well
forth
know,
there.
Kara is our calendar specialist, the calendar girl. And
Yes.
the reason why I kind of segue into that is because I wonder, and I try to ask this opinion of most of the guests we have, is with the schedules getting so busy with so many races, seems like there's races everywhere every weekend. Do you think that helps or hurts the racing as a whole? And where do you see the no prep side of things anyway? No prep or backtrack. Where do you see that going? You see it continue to grow, or do you think it's going to start to taper off and flatten out a little bit? Because it's been on a pretty vertical growth spike for a while.
Yeah, obviously, as you know, Trent, I am a promoter also, so we look at things a little differently.
We get our ass chewed every time we do it.
Some racers might look at it like, oh, heck yeah, I can go to 4 different races, depending on weather in one weekend. However, I look at it like, man, that means a group of, let's say, 100 cars in one market is going to be spread out to 4 different races instead of 2 races having 50 cars. Now you got it knocked down to 20-ish per event. And that's just, an example. But
Sure.
I look at it like dwindling car counts. Car counts make payouts. Car counts bring spectators. And, these events struggle because there's every Tom, Dick, and Harry making an event, and the one thing, that I definitely steer away from is not guaranteed payouts, because I am a realistic person. I see car counts. I watch different events and obviously my own events. And, if guaranteed payouts aren't there, it's hard to draw cars. But if they guarantee payouts based on X amount of cars, you don't know who's showing up, how many cars. And I just feel like it's a diluted market right now. And I'm very thankful for all sorts of different events to go to. However, it makes it easy for your average racer to miss an event, because I don't have to work hard to have to make this next weekend's event, because there's another one next weekend after that. So I don't have to put in the effort to fix my car or overnight parts or anything, because that's not the only event this month. There's another one the next weekend and next weekend and next weekend that I'm interested in. And so I feel like it might be great for the sport because there's a lot of racing. However, I don't think it's that good for the sport because it really is diluted right now. Do I think it's going to slow down soon? Yeah, maybe. Not this next year, not in 2022, but maybe the next year after that. And then, it's just like quantity over quality. When there's so many shitty events too, that pay 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. Sure, you have these come up short events that say they're going to pay X amount and then don't.
Like that was funny. That was funny. I like that.
It kind of is what it is. I hope that it does slow down some so we can get back to the more quality events. But, I think it's just going to steer its course. And honestly, I really think No Prep Kings is driving this. Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. The back when I started doing these no prep events 4 or 5 years ago, it was the next greatest thing, and here we are in the next greatest thing, and it's the normal. So I don't know. I guess we'll see, but I'm just glad that
things will change.
Obviously we have race cars, and parts are kind of hard to get, but at least we can still get some.
Tires.
Mm-hmm.
When I know one of the things, I kind of look at it from a supply and demand principle, just elementary marketing kind of thing. And, no prep started very much high demand, low supply. That's why guys would drive all over the country to go to races. And now supply, I think, is super plentiful. I don't know if I'd say it outweighs the demand, but just using basic principle of supply and demand, when the supply is super high, it will affect the demand a little bit. And I
Right.
think that's what you start to see. And when you look at it from a standpoint of the racers that are, you're trying to get to the races, there's only so many of them. It's not a huge pool of racers. Like, if you're going for 1250 index on a quarter mile, you could get 100,000 cars,
Yeah.
across the country and just keep burning through them. Whereas when you're getting, let's just use a round number, say 550 caliber cars, which obviously, as well as I do, that's a respectable street number. But if you're on a track, you're going to get run over. We both know that. But
Yeah.
use it as a basis. There's not nearly as many cars at that level. And the faster you go, the smaller the pile of cars gets. So when
Hmm.
you get,
Mhm.
14 different events in a region on a weekend, at some point, I think that the supply starts to outweigh the demand. And then I think it can have kind of a negative effect on the entire,
Well,
system.
let's have Kara come on and let's share the calendar a little bit. Maybe we can
Speaking
get a
of
better
too many
perspective of
races.
that.
Hello,
Just for a few
Kara.
minutes. We'll have a break for a little bit for her.
What's up, guys?
How you
Kara,
doing,
Black
Kara?
Kara?
Pants matters.
Oh boy.
Have we gotten her intro put together yet? The Calendar Girl song? 'Cause
I have
that
an
was super
intro?
cool.
Yeah, we're working
Yeah.
on that. That'll probably be for the next week.
Aw.
I told Brian what I want to do, but he's afraid we're going to get copyright infringements.
Uh,
Be fine. We'll just
Oh,
talk
boy.
over it. Nobody will know.
yeah, there we go. So I know we have quite a bit. I have a lot of the flyers up and loaded to go, but I don't know if I'll put the calendar on there for people who don't know. Second here.
Yeah, February is still slow, but man, once March hits, it gets wild. Like every single weekend.
Darcy
If you
wants
guys
to know what
don't
you're
know, you
eating.
can go check out her calendar. We'll have the link in the description for you. And thank her for all of her sponsors that have helped her as well, by the way. And of course that.
Ardettos. Nice.
That's my dinner, guys. That's how I'm living the healthy lifestyle. With a monster. Even better.
Oh, there we
Good
go.
Lord. You're going to vibrate out of the chair. And
Oh,
literally
boy,
sweat
Trent.
salt.
Oh boy.
It's from the monster,
Uh,
guys. What's wrong with you?
Oh yeah. It's your lie. You tell it any way you want to.
Right. Okay, Mr. Black Pants.
Oh boy. So do you want to share with us, Kara, what's some of the coming up events and what's going on?
Yeah, we all know Sick Week's going on. That's been pretty cool. I've watched a little bit on YouTube.
Which channel? Which one of the 400?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, who isn't streaming it? Yeah, that.
Dude, it's everywhere. It is.
I know.
I mean, it's amazing. God, I've never seen something take over my YouTube feed like that. Anyway, sorry.
I'm just kind of shocked that it blew up so, like, it's so popular from the beginning. Like, this is the first year it's running. So I mean, obviously everyone knows Tom Bailey who like put it together, but it's just like insane to me that it just, boom, it was like successful. It's just pretty, it's nuts. Yeah, poor
Like
Prika, by the way. Did you see Prika's car?
Yeah, they hit a deer.
Yeah, that's
I
wild.
saw that.
They hit a deer,
That's
but they
wild.
made it. They made it. It didn't overheat, and they made passes.
Uh-huh.
I was like, that's pretty
That's,
wild. But yeah, I
that's
felt
dedication
terrible.
right there.
It is. It absolutely is.
Then probably well, I don't know, but there's an event in Arizona this coming weekend at a airport.
We'll be there for the $20,000 race for that one.
Yeah, the
We'll,
the no prep flashlight.
Yeah,
Run
me and
down
Limpy
the
will both be
runway.
there.
Yep. Then next weekend there's an event in Georgia. What's it called? The Whole Winter Warfare. Not familiar with
as
who
in-
puts it on, but
And the entire, or like at the hole.
the whole.
Oh, duh.
It's at
okay.
US 19 Dragway. I've never been there. I don't know if anyone here's been.
Yeah,
up.
that's the hoe. Yeah, that's the hoe.
That's the whole. The whole.
The hoe.
The whole. Then
With it, Trent. I already know what you're going to think when you say that.
What? No, I'm busy getting the link for the schedule, you weirdo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Then there's like a grudge race in South Carolina, prepped grudge stuff. That race is pretty wild from what I've heard. The ass cutting.
The ass cutting?
It's the ass cutting. It's the 12th annual ass cutting, by the way. Then my good friend Corey, Palomino No Prep, Thaw Out 2.0, Darlington at the end of February. Same weekend as Lights Out, which I'm attending, so I'm excited. My first time at a radial race, so that'll be interesting. I'm
I'll
excited.
be in Mardi Gras.
You're gonna be getting all the beads, Limpy?
Yeah.
Yeah, just for you guys watching on Facebook, I just threw a link to the calendar up in the comments.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to add something, just message me. Or if I have something wrong, it's happened. But yeah, February is still quiet, but like I said, February, if you scroll down to February, it's at least 5 things every weekend. It's insane.
March.
A lot.
Yeah.
And then it just continues through pretty much through October. It's just insane. And a lot, like it's all no prep too. Like I include prep stuff when I come by it, but it's like all no prep stuff.
There's no prep's the only thing that matters.
Apparently.
We definitely appreciate it. I was going to throw a couple events up there that are coming up that are near future. We have obviously we have Joey's event. You guys, so the place to be. May 29th, a little farther out, but definitely if Joey's okay, we can come there. We can put that on TV for you if you want. If you want a little extra coverage.
TV.
Yeah.
Prime time.
Yeah. Also coming up soon is at the Gut down there in Texas. We'll be down there with Limpy covering that event, and you guys will see coverage on that. And another one coming up not too far away is the Metal and the Asphalt's going to be a good event. A lot of fast cars coming there. Some big payouts are coming on that event. It's going to be one worth traveling to. You know, a lot of the Street Outlaws and Big Tire got a big shootout between them. Some grudge stuff going on between everybody. So it's going to be a pretty badass race. Some pretty heavy hitters are coming to have some fun.
We got to have a wheelie contest? That's
I might be able to enter that.
Yeah. Outcomes the Butthurt Bar.
That one. Just ride the Butthurt Bar all the way down and on the back. For sure.
Just put some big weights on them, use them as wheelie bar wheels.
Right. And then we have March. We have the Kentucky Cash Days. As all you guys know, the last payout was like 30 grand for that one. It's going to be another epic event for that coming up too. And
you got a typo on there.
Do I?
Yeah,
They
28
do.
by 10.5. It's supposed to say 29.5.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Especially at that track. Did you see our video on that for that event, Joey? Oh, let me show you something for a second.
Is that the one that was the slip and slide?
Yeah.
No, that was.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, it's the same track. I didn't see it. That's
Oh
Decker Brothers.
my!
Yeah, but
Dude,
they
paid
acid.
He paid out
They
like
acid wash it
30-something
pretty good
thousand
to
for like
etch the surface.
he paid out like 30-something over 30,000 for 30 cars.
That is just crazy.
And that was like
a
what,
I did-
500.
I did see that video, and I'm like, wow,
It was like 500 to buy in for that race, right?
No, it's 300.
that is
Even
just
better,
crazy.
300. Yeah, they did pretty well there, and they got paid more than they were told they were supposed to.
Yeah,
Which,
but
after-
I heard they're doing some improvements to that track now, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
patched
they
it,
did a
and,
ton.
It's not gonna be slip and slide.
Okay,
Very
good.
fast.
Here's our footage
Yeah,
of it.
that is the place.
Yep.
Yeah,
It literally looks like they're racing in an Amazon warehouse floor.
yeah.
Totally.
Like it's just wild.
You want a challenging surface? There's the surface to be challenged on.
I don't think challenging is the word most people would use.
Yeah.
Ignorant,
And-
suicidal, foolish. I'm sure there are a lot of people would use different words. I mean, it's definitely challenging. Hey, listen, if you want to put your race on the map, this is how you do it.
Gosh, I bet.
And most of them
People-
guys said they'd come back, even
Yeah.
though
Oh,
they
yeah,
were still like
all of
that.
them.
they enjoyed it. They really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I think having the hay bales probably helped because for the guys that did tap into the hay bales, they weren't super destructive to the cars.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want to hit one 100 miles an hour, but ain't nobody going a fucking 100 miles an hour, and so it doesn't
Right.
matter.
You saw a Tesla win in big tire too. On top of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Of course.
And what did it go? Limpy, we were talking about this a couple shows ago. The Tesla went like what 97 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my
Just something
god.
ridiculously low.
And Chris Rankin went like, I think 84 miles an hour, and he had like, what do you say, like 65 or something miles an hour to the 60 foot.
Right. Yeah. He basically did a 330. He had 200 foot hit and just let it coast.
Yeah.
He put it in to where it would put in the deal and it would start taking power out.
Yeah.
He would detune it.
Yeah. I
Smurf
believe
on the hood,
it.
just start
He would
yanking
floor it,
plug
and it would
wires.
detune all the way through the pass.
Yeah. That's just insane. That place, I did watch the live feed when that was going on. It's just like, wow. Do
I think he
you,
made
I
like
got a question.
36,000 or something like that.
Do you feel like junk racing is a draw to the market nowadays?
Define junk racing.
Shitbox racing, for example.
Asphalt racing, back into the track.
Just sketchy, slower stuff.
Yes,
is
because average Joes can win,
It's
even
a
though
more-
they don't,
it's-
but they feel like they can.
the my opinion on this is when, from my experience, when we started doing no prep up here, the whole premise was for the track to be, we called it unprepped, but we really didn't do a whole lot at the time where we would strip it off or scrape or whatever fuck we did. The idea was the surface would be the leveling factor for the field. Everybody had to
Mhm.
fight the same surface. And I think that what you're seeing now with the backtrack, the asphalt, the garbage races, you like to call them, it's just like an extreme version of the original concept of no prep. Just find the worst surface possible and everybody's got to try to get down it. Now, if they're enjoying it and everybody's having a great time, that's fine. But from a promoter standpoint who's been around a while, the only issue I ever had with it is, when No Prep King started up and No Prep started to get really popular mainstream, everybody, a lot of the, the sideline people would say, well, No Prep's just a crash up derby. You look at guys like JJ and all they do is fucking wreck their cars every weekend. Well, that may be true, but
money.
well, that's true. But that doesn't, in my opinion, reflect the entire sport of no prep. And that's so
Right.
if you get into the really sketchy ones where guys are wrecking over and over and over again, I mean, if they want to do it, that's fine. God bless them. But overall,
My favorite
what?
one right there.
Wow, really?
That was my favorite one right there.
Oh my God! If we're gonna play that game,
Oh,
Okay.
there we go. Nice Limpy at his best. So, anyways.
oh, so it's like that, huh? Anyway,
Wow.
but I think there comes a certain point at which, if it gets too sketchy and it's termed as a no prep, it can damage the general image of no prep. So that's, I'm not Captain Save a No Prep or nothing like that, but I do get concerned about it just because I want to see the sport grow and I want to see it do well. And I don't want people to think that every no prep race is a crash up derby. I've had people tell me
Right.
that my race is a crash up derby. We've crashed like one car. Like
Yeah.
it hasn't, it's been nothing like that. So, accidents happen and you get the fastest drag race, the fastest small tire drag race on the planet, which is all Donald Long shit. And when they crash a car, it lands in the next fucking county. Like it flies away. So,
And it flies there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they got to call the FAA, be like, Stevie Fast is coming to make a pass. Does he have clearance? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, there's,
boy.
there's hazards in every kind of racing, but
I guess so.
yeah,
we have one coming up here at
Joey won't
Double
come
Chaos.
down.
Yeah, that's a
junk road.
sketchy track. That's going to be
Sketchy
an interesting race. You can see the track. That is some sketch. Four in the
Nothing
Woods was
says-
crazy. That's going to be crazier. That's our event we're
nothing
doing.
says no prep like grass.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Sponsored
Yeah.
by John
War in
Deere.
the Woods is sporty. I mean, the 660 feet ain't bad. It's the 1,000 foot of shutdown that's kind of horrible.
Is it just, I'm not familiar with the shutdown. Is it just a rough track or is it just not enough space? Just narrow, rough?
Both.
Both of 'em.
All
Both.
Both of 'em?
All of
Both
the
of 'em.
above.
Say it, Joey.
Yeah.
Both of them. Both of them. Say it.
Yeah. All
Don't
of
say
them.
Both of them.
No,
Both of them.
Both of them.
No.
It's one word. One word. Both of them.
he's not going to do it. English wasn't his best subject, but he can do
No.
this. Figure
Both
that
of
out.
there
Both
you go.
of
Good to know.
No.
You're going to have to get
BOFFEM.
bothfem.com.
Both of them.
Right.
Libby's alternate site.
Oh, since you've been out there, they've made quite a few improvements out there, but it's still the same shutdown.
Yeah.
Then weren't you saying they put walls up out there now?
Yeah.
Do we know what's the status on that? Is that maybe I'm behind?
Oh, it's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be on the
sketchy
calendar.
for you guys at the end of it.
May 6th and 7th, and September, end of September, 24th and 25th, something like that, I think.
Did someone buy it, or is it? Just
Yeah,
like
yes,
kinda
somebody's already
happening?
bought it, and
Awesome.
Jeff's already in cahoots with them.
Love it.
Mhm.
Good deal. Very good deal.
I don't know if you put that up publicly. I was kind of holding that back.
Well, it's
Yeah.
out there now.
I guess it is. Okay.
Surprise.
All three of you.
Both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Both viewers, both of them know. That's what you get for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
So Darcy and Sean, don't tell anybody.
Oh.
Yeah, I
here,
don't talk like that.
It'll be
You
all
could
right.
though.
It'll be all right.
Hey, Joey. So going back, Pro Stock is full of questions. He asked why no dig or die or come up for you last year.
Dig or Die has a rule against me, and the come up short had a rule against me.
Come up short. God is the greatest. What was the rule
Oh,
against
boy.
you? Let's just get it out
both
there.
both events decided to change the rules mid-year, and one of them, the come up short, decided to change it the week before of no external weight.
Okay.
Did you get that a lot? People trying to exclude you from events, using that as your excuse?
Yeah. I mean, maybe 50%, but like we talked earlier, there's 7 races a weekend. I can just go to a different one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We actually, collectively, I should say, the external weight rule just became a thing up here. Mike
That's
Curtis and I
okay.
were putting our brains together on rules.
I go out
so we're
on the East Coast,
consistent.
I see external weight all the time. It's
Well,
getting
and
more and more
here was
popular,
here was
actually.
the logic behind it. Wasn't aimed anyway, of course not Joey, because we're so far away we don't expect him to come up. The matter of is just closes the door on people doing extraordinarily sketchy shit. That's
Well,
really what it
yeah.
boils down to. So we're like, if it's just not allowed, then the logic is nobody's going to try to do something incredibly stupid. Now it doesn't mean that they won't, but that was the logic, and throw it
So
at the wall and see if it
now
sticks.
But he's-
here's a question for you, Trent.
Yeah.
If I put weight on the rear end, is that external?
By definition, no, because I think it was outside of the body line, if I remember the rule specifically. The
So
weight could be
Is-
under the car, it could be in the car, but it could not be outside of the body lines.
Hmm.
I think that's
what
how
if
the
it
rule was
falls
written.
off?
Ooh.
Well, then you still have a problem. I mean, again, there's always going to be a gray area or loophole to the rule. I know that.
Okay.
Well,
What if my wing extended really far?
And
It's
weighed
a little bit
300
thicker and
pounds.
heavier.
That's what they
I'm
had out
just
there at
saying.
Dig or Die. The guy that won it, he had a wing that
Fucking
was
wing made
pretty
out of
much
quarter-inch
weight.
diamond plate. that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. I suppose that would be work. See this here. Let me explain something. And I
I'm
think you
just
heard me say this
just
before.
making you think
No,
different.
I love it.
There
I
you
love
go.
it. And
We need to get everybody
you-
to think a little different on that.
well, and you probably have heard me say this, Joey, because I've said it a bunch. When I started writing rules back in the day, my guiding light was Smokey Eunuch, because his philosophy on rules was if it's in the rules, you can't do it. If it's not in
Right.
the rules, you can do it, and that's always been
Right.
my guiding light in the whole thing. And interpretation is what makes it fun. A
Yep.
long time ago, I required a wiper and horn rule. Guys would show up with a little, air horn and tie a rope to their wipers to make it work. Was it technically within the rules? Yes. Was it kind of cheating? Yeah, also yes. But it was, that's what made it
Jasper did
fun.
that.
What's that?
I said Jasper did that, but anyways.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We had guys when we first started doing junior, we had so many different rules, and we didn't have we had a no anti-robot rule, which went over like a lead brick with a lot of guys. But they
Right.
were, people learned their way around it. They would start putting limiters on the left side of the body to the axle, a chain or a cable or whatever, and they're like, well, is this legal? I'm like, Yes, it's not an anti-roll bar, and all I wanted the guys to do is to think outside of the anti-roll bar box. You can get a car
Yeah.
controlled without it. It's just more difficult. So, but yeah, that's with every rule. There's going to be, a bunch of scoundrels like you that are going to try to find a way around it, and that's why you guys do well, because you find the rules and then you figure out the loopholes.
What's junior you speak of? What's that?
Junior, I'm back. This is going back into COTS days. This is in 2012. We needed a second car class because the 28 stuff, the original class, was getting fast, and people were just kind of fading out of it because it was beyond their means or their level of dedication, whatever. And I thought we should have another car class. And Steve wanted to go faster, and I felt that was not the right way to go. I said we should go slower because it's a bigger pool of racers that we can attract. So I put together a rule set. It's called Junior, and was basically focused around a 26-inch DOT drag radial. And there was a host of other rules: no anti-roll bar, stock suspension,
Quarter mile.
Oh, absolutely, quarter mile, absolutely. And it eventually recently got shortened down to 8th because back then it was basically geared to be like a 1050, 10-0 class. We had guys like 980s, 950s getting into the 8s, and then it just got ignorant. Like it got ignorant to the point where you couldn't have a 25X chassis. You had to have an 850 max. And I'm okay with that, but I couldn't in good conscience allow these guys to go out there and actually endanger themselves because they were going so fast. So eventually we shortened it down to 8th so that we could continue to run an 850 spec without worried about guys, putting themselves into serious danger, because there was some guys running out the back on a fucking 10-point and it was sketchy. No names.
Mork.
But yes, baby. And I told him, I said, do it. I just, his car was fast, and he's the one I used as the example, of course. And he won it several times when he got his car figured out. But there comes a point at which you have to look out for the racers. Diehard racers will race themselves right into a brick wall if it means they're going to win. Like they do it all the time. Guys wall the cars trying to win. I can't in good conscience allow somebody to get too fast for their safety equipment and then get themselves hurt trying to race. Like you just can't do that. So, but anyway, that's the premise of Junior Limpy. It's still around. It's 26-inch drag radial, and it's now pretty much a application class, so that we try to weed out the killers and make it a fun place for the guys to race without having to worry about getting run over by guys that just have no business being in that class.
Sure.
That's a fact.
It's also the class where schoolboy. What's that?
I told Darcy, I said because she's funny as shit. That's why.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. When I read the comments, Darcy, I giggle too. I try not to read the comments when I'm talking because then I get sidetracked and I can't speak straight English. Also, not my best subject.
Because he's thinking of Bill.
No,
I can't even see the comments.
you're better off.
So,
A lot of times I
probably.
maximize so you can't see them. I think you have an obsession with Bill. You have an obsession with me thinking about Bill. I don't know. There's some weird triangle going on.
Let's see that
I think
again.
we
There
need
you
to see
go.
some
Look
counseling.
at that.
Oh man, that's okay. I've seen worse. Actually, a good memory is posted today of your good friend Brandon Mork. A couple events ago, he got really drunk and hijacked a small excavator that was parked at the racetrack.
Oh my god!
And
I
drove
saw
it
the
around the
pictures.
pits. Yeah,
I saw the
Well,
pictures.
there's a video of it that's in there as well. I think.
Why did that come back today? Like of all days?
Nick-
Somebody
Nick
commented
posted
on it.
Yeah, Nick posted it as a memory. And I was, the backstory for those who want to know, I'm in my RV. I don't remember what the hell I'm doing, but where my RV was parked kind of was like the head of the pit, so I can kind of oversee what's going on and try to police the guys to get out of hand, that sort of shit. I was like the cop, and I hear just this high pitched whine. I'm like, what is that noise? And I get out there, and fucking Mork is out there. He's got like a Long Island in his mouth and 2 Jello shots in his hand, driving it with his feet because it's an excavator. You can do that. Just cruising across the pits at like 2.5 miles an hour. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Now, if you don't know this, Brandon's an operator. That's what he does for a living.
Yeah.
So he's like, dude, I'm qualified. It's fine. Dude, the track owner is going to fucking throw us out of here forever if you don't put this thing away. But it made for a really funny story because I was like, only Brandon,
Yep.
Brandon's a hoot. especially when he decides to do weird shit when he's drunk. It's always a story. Usually, it doesn't end in handcuffs.
Oh yeah.
Or missing a shirt.
He's wild.
That's
for
when he
sure.
races every time he's at the track. Like, it's,
Yeah.
like where's Waldo's got the red and white stripes? Where's Brandon? Just look for a half naked man. That's pretty much his MO.
Dude, Brian, put up Chris Hull's comment over there.
What? Chris Hull, that's kind of rude. I don't know what the hell that's all about. What the fuck?
Oh,
A rough
boy.
crowd out here today.
Shit.
I like it.
Oh,
Rough crowd.
Trent still pees on his balls, so we all know the problem.
oh boy.
Yikes.
You
Deep in
have
here.
a strange obsession. I think you should get counseling for that.
Fuck it.
All right, guys.
I'm
We're
thinking
gonna
about
wrap.
the 15-hour drive I'm fixing to have to do tonight.
We're gonna wrap
What's
things
that?
up. We're gonna put the road zone here. Both of us, me and Lippy, gotta get
Both of 'em.
going soon.
Yeah, it's time. Some of us have to get to bed in 30 minutes.
I
I
got
gotta
a flight
drive
at 3
15
a.m.
hours.
and he's driving. So hey.
Yeah, I get up at 1:30 in the morning now. It sucks.
Yeah.
You'll call me. You'll call me and talk. You can. Just I'll be up.
That's fine.
We can talk about Bill.
Oh boy.
Have you talked to Bill lately?
I did. You want his number? I get his number. if you
Yeah,
want
I
to
have
talk
his number.
Oh,
to him. Okay.
very funny. So Joey, do you want to thank any sponsors or anybody for you, or
Parting
talk about your
thoughts?
event? Anything?
Yeah. Obviously, this racing dream, you want to call it, the American dream of racing, is a large financial burden on any racer that's as serious as I am, I feel. And so there's quite a few companies that help me out, whether it's just time-based materials or parts, tires, or just simple cash to get to races. Obviously the number one sponsor I have is the Shop Inc. Chad Fegley from Lincoln, Nebraska owns a shop where I dyno my car, align it, some fab work. He's been with me from day one pretty much, and I'm really fortunate to have a guy like him. He's the title sponsor of my event, obviously, on May 28th also. And he loves supporting, racers that work hard. And there's there's several of us that he supports around my area, and so thank you to Chad for keeping with me for this many years, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it is. He's been really great to have around. I'm actually going there tomorrow to align my car and, start testing for the year. But obviously, Baron Racing helps me out with parts, getting parts soon, getting tires soon, just stuff like that. Justin Heckman, as we talked earlier in the year or in this podcast, helps out tremendously throughout the year. I power manage his cars and help him throughout the year, and he helps me, on the beater. And you see him crewing for me when Sean can't. And just he, like I just talked earlier, he has a warehouse of tires. He also sells fuel. His company is called J&N Granite. Everybody knows him in the Midwest pretty much. So, he's a really nice guy if you ever meet him, and he just loves to help people out. He wants to see people do good, and I'm fortunate enough to have him, around to help me. Just all around good friend. Just getting tires, having new tires. New tires are extremely, extremely important for me, especially because every 8 passes I have to change my tires. It goes from an extremely fast pass to extremely slow at number 8. So, and we've tested that back to back to back. A few of those losses are from us figuring this out, and it's insane. But new tires, bam, fast can be, and He's fortunate enough to have tires on hand for me and, have them available. As we know, tires are really hard to get right now. So I'm really glad that he has the opportunity to get them quickly and store them for me and stuff like that. Let's see who else. Jordan from VSE, he helps me out. My tow truck, the diesel truck I drive to races, my Ford F-250 is tuned by them, and I had one problem, and I used to be a Ford mechanic. I'll preface that with that, and I didn't change my air filter for I don't know, I forgot about it. It's not the race car, so I forgot about it, and I had to drive 40 miles an hour back from a race one time, and I took it over to Jordan's. I'm like, hey, this thing's broke. Can you guys look at it? And we drove it around the block, and they're like, yeah, it's just not getting any air. And we pulled out the air filter, and it was horrible.
Nice.
Horrible.
Family of rodents living in it.
Just tons of stuff in there. Anything. It was, and I was like, oh man. Put new air filter, night and day difference. But yeah, Jordan helps me out. Last year we actually borrowed his stacker and his dually F-250 at the Texas race. We had it there, Blaine and I, and so he was nice enough to let us borrow that thing to get to races. And
What happened
I
to Blaine?
hope to, he's going to work with me this year on just anything and everything you need from Jordan. And if you guys need a diesel tuned or anything, hit him up. Let's see. I obviously have used Hughes in the past. They refreshed my transmission over the winter, so I'm really appreciative to them. Pete was their main guy there, and as everybody has seen, he's moved on to Circle D. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do in my transmission program, but I'm still fortunate enough to have Hughes over winter freshen it up for me and make sure everything's good to go. Pete put a brand new gear set in there. Just at the power level I'm at, we've seen one of my losses was the gear set broke in the transmission, and we just accounted it to too many passes, and parts break sometimes when you're going extremely fast on slicks, just all around at this horsepower level, parts can have a wear life, just pass life, and you got to make every pass count. So we changed out some of the hard parts in there before Pete left and got it back, and it should be all good to go now. So let's see who else.
Vasco.
Oh yeah, as we talked earlier, Brad Vasco from Vasco Speed and Performance pretty much built a whole entire new car. It's not a tube chassis car. Mustangs don't have a frame in the middle, but we pretty much cut out the whole floor and put in a 25.2 cage, so it's rated to, I think, 6.0s at 2,800 pounds. But yeah, we spent nearly 3 months. Every weekend I drove to Kansas City, 3 hours away from me, away from my family, and just to make a safer race car. And I can't thank Brad enough for spending every weekend with me, and Sean was there also. Sean and I rewired the whole entire car. We ripped out every wire and put in new, from scratch, and we did it at Brad's shop, and can't thank him enough. Obviously Brad helped me build the Butthurt bar. He is an excellent welder out of Kansas City, and pretty much I bent all the bars and he welds them up. We were an excellent team. Like I said, spent 3 months building a brand new car, and you guys saw me struggle throughout 1 year and then saw me excel extremely, to the top, I'd say. The next year, just it takes a year to figure things out when you change that much stuff. The chassis doesn't flex as good as it used to. It's so rigid, and it now that we've got it figured out, everything works great. And, you know, he's an excellent fabricator. He built my first turbo kit when I first went turbo, 4 or 5 years ago now, and has built every turbo kit since. And, you know, Brad just looks at the engine, looks at the turbo, and connects the dots. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, can't thank Brad enough and Sean for helping me wire it. Let's see. Post up that Butthurt bar picture so I can see the back again.
Wheel tables.
Yeah, Dave from Weld Tables. He just helps me out, you know, pretty much just diesel money and stuff. Sheldon from T&D Rockers. He got me a new set of rockers this year, actually. Last year, towards the end of the year, I broke a rocker and the valve hung open and the valve hit the piston, and that pretty much ended my year. It was late October when that happened, and I had a different set of rockers on there, and he you know, was like, hey, let's just put the best of the best on there. And you know, I was fortunate enough to have him help me out on a previous engine, and so I just called him up, said, hey Sheldon, I had some bad luck and had a rocker break, hang the valve open, hit the piston, and luckily the valve didn't break off or nothing, but you know, it still ended my season there. And I said, you know, I've had a really good season. I don't need to rush to fix these things, and I'll come back, you know, from back after winter and, you know, and get things back on check, you know. And so Sheldon got me a really good set of rockers on there from T&D, and I hope to not have any more valve problems this year, because that's a pretty big ordeal, and I think we're pretty set there in that department. Bullet Racing built my engine, so they obviously fixed the broken valve and stuff like that, and I got it back a few weeks ago, put it in the car last week, and got it running. And I look forward to testing this weekend. And Heckman is, as I talked earlier, Justin Heckman from J&N Granite has a race in Texas, a radial race with his car retuned at Fuel Tech. And so I'll be down in Texas next weekend helping him at, I think it was Ennis. I don't remember which Texas track, Ennis or XRP, one of those. But yeah, so I'll be down in Texas next weekend, not this weekend here in a couple of days, but next weekend, helping him get his radial car straightened out. He spent all last year pretty much racing with me instead of racing his own cars. So I'm going to try to focus on his cars a little more. He actually built a street car kind of thing, Fox body street raced car over winter time. And I pretty much did the whole setup on the chassis and everything and transmission. And he had some really successful passes. We just missed the mark in a few spots, so he's not racing that one coming up, but he's gonna try to get the radial car going, and I want to try to help him hit his goals there before I get too carried away on my season. You know, like I said, this season in 2022, I'm not really looking to set the world on fire again, you know, like I did last year. I just want to kind of go out and have a relaxed racing season, maybe you could say, and not be so serious. Last year I definitely was really serious into racing, and you know, it takes up a lot of time. It really does, you know, traveling to these races, and your whole weekend is spent driving pretty much. And so I think I'm gonna cut back a little bit and, you know, focus in some other areas and maybe hit it hard next year or something. But this year, I don't think you'll see me winning every weekend, probably. I mean, sure, winning is really fun, and, you know, having a race car that actually makes you money instead of costs you money is very rare. But you know, I was fortunate enough to buy some things that I've wanted for a while. I don't know if you guys follow my Facebook much, but I bought an old car my dad used to have last year, and it was quite a bit of money, but fortunately enough, I had a really successful season that paid for it, you know, and I have some good things in life, and I don't need to hit racing as hard this year. So I guess we'll see, but that's about it for me, you know. Otherwise, if you guys want to come see me race boosted, you can catch me at I-29 Dragway on May 28th.
We forgot one sponsor too.
Who? The money? Benjamins?
The Benjamin.
The haters.
I'd like to
Yeah,
thank
there
the
you go.
United States
Yeah.
Treasury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of haters, you know, and
They make you famous.
I used to have a lot more, I will say, but I've gotten to the point where I try to be a nicer person. You know, I used to be that guy that when I won a coin toss, I'd say, you just grab the other lane. But nowadays, I'm usually like, you know, hey, I'm probably thinking about the left lane, but if anything happens between now and when we race, I'll let you know, but I'll probably take the left. You know, something like that.
Or I'll let you know when I pull up there, like you used to.
Yeah, that's always fun.
You know,
when they
if
switch
I
up.
don't like you, you'll for sure know it, because I'm definitely
Facts.
not a nice guy.
Facts.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna wrap things up. We appreciate you coming and join us on the show. So definitely hope to have you back. We'll have you on our Tech Sunday and talk some car stuff.
But
a little more.
talk physics.
about it. Yeah, more
Talk
about
some
the math and
numbers.
physics and stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I'm not
math skills.
I'm not very good at numbers. Even though math was my best subject, we usually, back in my high school days, we used letters, so I'm not very good at numbers.
His measuring tapes are all broken, so you'll get limited information.
Yeah, his measuring tape. There it is.
Yeah. How thick is that stack of money? It's going to be about 220 millimeters.
There you go.
Hello?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
It's fucking ghetto fabulous. I love it.
for
Actually,
sure.
that was the actual day I went and bought the Sunbeam. If you guys didn't know,
I figured.
that was the car I was telling you about that my dad used to have. Is called a Sunbeam Tiger.
And everybody, and you're like, I sold the beater, and I was like, he didn't fucking sell the fucking beater. He fucking,
Yeah,
he's fucking
we saw
yanking
that.
y'all's
That was
fucking
funny.
chain.
You set
He ain't
everything
selling
on
that
fire
car.
that day.
Yep.
That's funny.
You know, it's funny when that came through because I never thought I'd see a Sunbeam Tiger on my timeline, let alone two of them. Because Donald Long has one. He talks about it every now and then. I seen you buy that one. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Just it's
Yep.
such an obscure car. Not many people even know what it is.
Right. Would you like?
Yes, Darcy, you're hired. What
There
do we
you
have
go.
to pay you? How do we? What do you want us to pay you in? Like we send you
Right.
some Gardettos or what?
That's funny.
Hell yeah, I got that. I got that. That's all me.
Oh, Kara's got you figured out.
Oh, there
Done.
you go.
Mhm.
Darcy's going to be our own built-in peanut gallery. It'd be awesome.
Yo,
There
yeah.
you go.
I don't
She's
know
a
if you guys
lot.
saw
That's what
That's
we
a-
say.
that she said that earlier in one of her comments. She's like,
Coach
quote,
Glenn, yeah.
this is Darcy. She's a lot.
Yeah. Yep. That's usually
like it.
what we tell. That's what we tell new people that meet her. It's like, hey, this is
Gosh.
Darcy. She's a lot.
That's fantastic. I like it.
She's good, though.
Uh,
She's
I
good.
like
Definitely.
it. We need more like her.
for
Yep.
sure.
Cool.
Well, guys,
let's wrap this thing up. It's getting late.
Yep.
Man,
for sure.
fucking
Yeah,
work.
definitely. So you guys come to our Sunday show is going to be at noon since the Super Bowl weekend. We're going to have Garrett from Fuel Tech on. So we're going to have lots of things Fuel Tech to talk about and definitely be a good show. I'll be out west doing the show. So hopefully for good service. And Jasper will be on there as well, and Mark. And, we thank that. And Limpy, I know you're hitting the road soon, and I'll see you in the morning out there, hopefully. Oh, there it is. Yep. And signals go away. But thank you. I appreciate you, Joey, for coming on and giving us some of your
Thanks,
time,
Joey.
and definitely forward to talking to you a lot more.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Good time talking to you.
You still,
Absolutely.
oh yeah, you still got them pretty lips, though. I'm just saying.
Oh boy.
All
Don't
right,
be jealous,
that's gonna be a
I'm gonna get
screenshot.
off here.
All right,
Yep.
thanks,
later.
Joey. Carrot,
All right,
thanks
we'll
for
see you guys
sticking
later.
around.
Take care. Thanks.
The MSK Show. No prep racing, street racing, tech, the latest news, and the best interviews. You'll hear it here. You'll hear it here. The MSK Show is Trent, that no prep guy, Brian, the man, the myth, the legend, and Limpy. Keep banging that like. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And we'll be back soon. Find us on Facebook at MSK, on TikTok at Midwest_Streets, on Instagram at Midwest.Streets, and on YouTube at MSK Midwest Streets. We'll see you next time on the MSK Show.
Okay.
Have a good